Hello, viewers. Welcome back to Vibing with Mr. Marvelous. Today on our show, we have Mel. Mel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
How was your day?
It's good. A little rainy in Florida, but we're good.
Yes, the rain has been a little bit there in Florida. Mel, welcome. Tell the viewers about you and
Yep. My name is Melissa. I was born and raised actually in South America. I moved to the States when I was a young kid. I live here now in Wellington, Florida, and I'm married to my husband for now almost oh my gosh, 13 years.
okay.
We have two little kids, loving it. I'm a recent entrepreneur. I worked in corporate America for almost 20 years doing product development, brand management, and right at the cusp of the pandemic, decided that it was time to spread my own wings and do my own thing. Having had many years of product development experience, I launched a brand of kids' toys that inspire creative play.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing a little bit about yourself. So today's topic, we're gonna focus on entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is where someone takes their own action and opening a business. And before we move on, as you know, every show we have a trivia question. So today's question is, what percentage of businesses fail, like new startups, within the first year? So within the first year of business, what percentage failed? We'll come back to that. We'll give you about 5 more minutes. So Mel, you said you're born in South America. No,
Yep.
I look at
Yep.
you. To
Yep.
me, you Asian.
Yeah.
Habla español.
Yo hablo muy bien el español.
¿De dónde? Sudamérica.
Yo soy de Perú.
El Peru.
Yep.
So I just asked her, were you born? What part of South America?
Uh-huh.
And she said Peru. So I'm trying to practice my Spanish.
Which is muy bien, tu español.
Muchas gracias. So Peru.
Yeah, so I in Peru, actually in South America, there's a big population of Japanese born.
Okay.
A lot of migration happened after the Second World War. The biggest population is in Brazil in Sao Paulo, but there's also a big community in Peru where I'm from. My great grandparents immigrated to Japan after the Second World War, and then through entrepreneurship moved from the farming into the big city, and really that community, and that's a lot of my family are entrepreneurs. Where like maybe I get that bug from is we learn to live in a new country by using entrepreneurship to better ourselves. When my family moved here from Peru to the U.S., my mother also became an entrepreneur. I call her the original like Johanna Gaines because she was in a very male-dominated industry, which is construction, remodeling, tile work, and all that stuff. She became a designer, well sought out, way back 30 years ago,
Wow.
remodeling homes, and now she has a huge thriving business, and is just killing it. And I just watch her doing that all my life. My grandparents, the same thing, had bakeries, restaurants. So we've all just seen just the power of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship can get you out of different situations
Right.
and allow you to flourish. Yeah.
Brilliant. So Japanese influence background.
Oh yes, yeah,
Japanese,
yes. We
okay.
are Japanese. Yes, full
All right.
Japanese. Just born and raised in Peru.
Love it. Muy bien.
hmm
And how long you said you've been doing your entrepreneurship?
So we launched, which my business is called Swingly. So that's
Swing SW.
SWINGLY
Okay.
toys,
Okay.
and we make sort of these storefronts that hang right in the doorway so that you can create like a little play shop and kids can inspire them to do more creative play. So we launched that business via a Kickstarter campaign, which is very hard to do that in general. So if you want to do Kickstarter, take your time, take some lessons, get into a course because it's well worth it and all the effort. So we launched it with a goal of $15,000. We surpassed that. We did over 18,000. Even that year, I think we ended up doing a little bit more than that. And that gave us a great start to allow us to fundraise money. As you know, it's really hard to get a loan as a new entrepreneur. It's really hard for people to take a chance on a startup. So doing a Kickstarter, you sort of take a chance on yourself, get people
Very
to
true.
believe in you.
Correct. Yes.
And
It
in
always starts
exchange,
with that.
yeah, and in exchange, I offered a product for that. But we had Raven fans, and from now we've grown over the years or over the last year,
Right.
in doing a lot of investing in advertising, partnerships. And I'm happy to say, like, our storefronts are in over 1,500 homes today, allowing children to play and maybe have a little, maybe have moms have a little mom time on the side where the kids are playing.
Definitely. Love it.
And we continue to grow. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
All right, viewers, your 5 minutes is up. So the trivia question was, what percentage of businesses fail within the first year? So less than 12 months. The statistic says 20%.
Hmm.
20%.
Hmm.
So if you've been out there for more than 1 year, keep it up, which means you're doing something right. You've been there more than 2 years, keep doing it 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, and it goes on. So congratulations for all those who's been there. It's never easy, and we're gonna
Yeah.
talk deep dive into that a little bit more. So you opened 2 years ago, right? The
Yeah. 2
pandemic.
years ago.
And can your products be bought on Amazon, on everywhere on the internet, or direct on your website, or
Yeah, right now we really prioritize direct to consumer, so
direct?
our
Okay.
website, and do wholesale through other e-commerce sites.
Okay.
The reason why is we just noticed a lot of our brick and mortar partners are just having this is a tough year. Let's just
Right.
be honest. This has been a tough year, and our product is a little bit on the higher end. It's $89,
It's
99.
quality.
Yeah, $89, $99. Yeah, our product is it's double canvased. It is machine washable. It is also a full length of a door, so that's almost 7 feet of fabric on both sides. So we pride a lot, and we really look at our product to be more like an heirloom toy, something like the wooden toy, something that you pass on, that you've loved on, you pass it on to a cousin and to a sibling, something that we want it to be everlasting. And it's made of really great quality, and it's machine washable. So, but we decided to partner with people online as well because our product, we know that it's just hard to until we are working on retail packaging, but for now it's just hard to display in a store the full strum. So we partner with other ecom retailers that have a similar business model as we do. We have not ventured into Amazon. I think we for me strategically
Right.
have decided to stay more on the boutique side
Okay.
of the business, but who knows? That might
Correct.
change my mind one day.
Thank you. Thank you. And you will corporate America.
Yes, yes, for 20 years.
20 years. Wow. And you've transitioned to at home, doing your
Yep,
own thing.
yep.
How's the transition been? You miss corporate America, or you feel more
Uh,
alive than ever before?
yeah, I mean, I spent 20 years there and I honed in my career on product development and brand management. And it was a very rewarding career to be able to find people's problems, create a product that solves it and make their lives better. I mean, that career was very rewarding for me. But I think it came a point in time where I wanted to now go into a new venture, obviously reprioritize my time as well.
Right.
Spend more time at home with my kids and my husband. And then also with this business, I felt like there was a second phase where I needed to now give back to my community. Not only, I mean, we do support monetarily a lot of organizations that have to do with children locally and around some nationwide as well. But personally, I have a lot of background, obviously, in brand management, product development, entrepreneurship. And I've just made it a personal mission for myself to help other entrepreneurs. I don't take any money from that.
Wow.
I just love the spirit of an entrepreneur. There's a certain little spark that you get in the eye that if someone's an entrepreneur, you're like, they're crazy enough to do it. And so I love people with the eye spark because they're a little bit crazy, a little bit devoted, but they have a lot of heart. And so I just love being able to share some of my knowledge and being able to give them foundational marketing help, brand marketing help, things that as entrepreneurs we're so involved in getting the thing done. But if you lay these strong foundations at the beginning, you can definitely grow a brand further, and you can also grow a business with the right strategies in place at the beginning. So I make entrepreneurs take a seat, sit down for a second, and think through what the future holds for them.
What are the three most difficult areas? I know you mentioned a few, but
Yeah.
reiterate. What are the most three top areas that you see new startups struggle with, or entrepreneurship struggle with?
And I think it's at the onset, you have to just go with it, right? Your idea's going, you're in like fast mode, but there is a time in the business where you do need to sit down and strategize. Like, what is my growth strategy? What am I trying to accomplish this year? even if it's as simple as I want to sell 300 of these widgets
Right.
this year. You got to make a goal for yourself so that you can then be able to say, are all of these activities that I'm doing throughout the year, are they getting me closer to the 300 widgets I'm trying to sell? Yes or no? Right. And sometimes it could go beyond like sales revenue or goals like that. It could be like, I want to give back, $2,000 of all my revenue. So are you making enough money to give that $2,000 back? It's just setting yourself some kind of goal or strategy for that year and being able to up it every year, right? I do
Right.
300, maybe I'll do 500 or change it all together. Then I also see people or sort of new companies try to sell their product to everyone. Like
Right.
I must sell to everyone.
Right.
But I always start with you have to have a very niche target market because I have a target market, which is a mom
Right.
with children and she lives in some kind of suburban community. I always get asked, well, why not dads? And I'm like, well, I that's not my target. I
Right.
literally talk to moms. So every communication on my Instagram, our newsletter, or even our thank you for ordering, it's geared toward that person because it becomes specific. Because if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one, right? So it
True.
is getting sort of like get that target market. And then the third thing I tell entrepreneurs too is like, okay, foundation, but then it's also putting yourself not that you should be super risky all the time, but put yourself in a position where you are willing to test and learn, right? Test alone is risky.
Right.
But if you go in with the mindset of, I'm going to test this to learn something, then it becomes different. The investment becomes different. The time becomes different. So if you're willing to test something and then learn from it, then that's the good formula. You can't just test and then say, oh, you failed. And then that really
Correct.
discourages people. When you test and test and doesn't kind of turn up the way you want it and then you don't learn from it. But if you put yourself in that test and learn mentality with every decision that you make, then I think it provides a strong foundation for growth in the future.
Love it.
So,
Now you heard it. Those three top areas. So keep that in mind the next time you want to open a business. What has your education journey been like? I know you born in Peru but grew up here and you
yep,
speak Spanish. You're
yep.
very brilliant in my books. Anybody who speaks two languages is absolutely brilliant.
I know it gets hard sometimes. Some people, somebody asked me once, "You dream in English or Spanish?" I'm like, I think I dream 100% in English, but maybe in my younger days it was Spanish.
Do you speak any Japanese? Or
No, just like certain words, yeah,
arigato,
oba-chan,
konnichiwa?
oji-chan, the basic words.
Okay.
Um, but I moved to the States when I was 8. I grew up in Boca, high
Right.
school, everything. I went to Florida State. Go Seminoles for anyone out there.
All right, Knowles. You guys are on a good roll. Keep it up.
Yeah, so I went to Florida State for 4 years, moved back home, did my MBA at Nova, and my specialty there was entrepreneurship. So really enjoyed the program there. Got to meet a lot of our professors were entrepreneurs themselves, which was really great to hear. Just from a real life perspective, not
Right.
not an old professor that had been doing the books for many
Correct.
years. So that was really cool. And then started working in market research, product development for a disposable company. They were like the party cup, solo cup company.
Yes.
So those kind of cups, and then from there I moved on to my career with my latest company. We did small kitchen appliances.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, did your schooling? So some people go to school and they give it up, like they quit. Bill Gates, good example, but
Mhm.
he had his own mindset already. He was
Yeah,
far ahead in life.
yeah.
Did education, the schooling you went to, prepare you for what you're going through right now today?
I think so. I think in education, yes, you're going to graduate, you're going to get new skills training and all, but I think going to college, doing that education also prepares you. One, like you set a goal, I'm going to graduate, and you
Right.
completed it, right? As a young person, that's a big feat, right?
Absolutely.
And then two was just for me, it was like almost like life lessons, right? Like I grew up at home all the time. Like you grow up there for 18 years. Mom's doing your laundry, she's cooking your dinner. She was still sending me food up there. But you just learn to be an adult, be independent, responsible, like financially as well, responsible. Things that you can't just fall back on. Like if you run out of toilet paper, that's it for that semester. That your parents wouldn't send you. But
Correct.
it just makes you a little bit more independent. I was the first person to go to college in my family in the US. So I had to do a lot of research as to like, what is this going away to college thing? What is this dorm thing? What is this financial aid thing? Like my parents, like they were not, they were new here in this
Right.
in this country. So it was a lot of I became very resourceful, if you will, as growing up. But education is nowadays it's back when I was going to college, people was going to college was becoming like the norm.
Right.
Now it's almost like it's like the high school diploma, right?
She's been so competitive,
Yeah, it's
man.
very competitive to get jobs. Like even sales jobs. A lot of companies I work for, our salespeople, we require them to have a bachelor's degree as well. So I
So
think
masters today is equivalent of the bachelor's back in the
it's
day.
almost like yeah. But it's definitely you do need to further your education. I think education is still important, and the basis for a lot of discipline. I think.
Brilliant.
So,
And as an entrepreneur, and you've talking to other startups,
mhm.
what are the probably three top rewarding things of owning your own
Uh,
business?
well, there's a lot of it is maybe pride,
Pride.
right? Of seeing your work, all your sweat and tears, which there's a lot of tears,
It's
a lot.
not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not for the faint-hearted. You really have to have thick skin. But it really is a sense of pride of the things that you're created. People might see a beautiful website, beautiful packaging, but the hours, the struggles, the stolen hours
Yep.
from kids and
Sleepless
families,
nights.
sleepless nights, like all those things, like everything that went into it, and then having people see it or people even comment like, "What a great idea! We love your product." It's just such a sense of pride and accomplishment for an entrepreneur to be able to witness that.
Pride. What else? Two more.
Pride, there's also just a sense of freedom. Freedom to, I worked in a corporate setting, so there was not a lot of freedom there. But I'm just being able to be creative with your time, being able to do what you want with your time, and then being able to give that a little bit of you back into your community or the world is a great feeling as well.
And one more.
Oh, and the third thing is, I know it sounds crazy, but it's that amazing thrill of like you're seeing the sales come in, or you are just struggling with your supplier, or all of that adrenaline really does make that crazy sparkle in the eye from an entrepreneur. That's what I mean. Like, we're a special breed because people will die of that stress, but it does kind of give you that a little bit of a adrenaline rush to have your business and have all these things up in here.
Very true what you said. It's not for everyone, right?
Yeah,
Entrepreneurship is not for everyone.
it's not for the faint-hearted for sure. Yeah,
Yes. That's why they say what 2% of the world, 2% of the world controls whatever
yeah,
90 something percent of
yeah,
the
yeah,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, but congratulations for sharing
Thank
those
you, thank you
powerful
so much.
rewards. Looking back in your personal growth,
Mhm.
would you change anything? Like looking back for the next 20 years or the past 30 years, looking back, would you change anything about your life?
No, no.
Or
There's
even
no
starting the business you started, would you be like, man, why did I do that?
no, no regrets, no regrets. I feel like every single thing in life has been put in there for a place to teach us something in that moment in time for you to grow to do something. I Before I launched my business, I was like, I'm too old for this. Like, I am not an entrepreneur. Growing up, an entrepreneur in my mind was
Right,
like the Silicon Valley young dude,
right,
right? And I was like, that those are entrepreneurs. And
right.
my mind, I'm like, I'm too old for this. Like, how can I restart a career or something in my 40s? This is not right. But then I look around and I see the face of entrepreneur has completely changed. I'm in love with this one company. You can write it down. It's called Low and Sons. My favorite bag company of all times. It's a woman, an Asian woman that is in her 60s. She saw
In the 60s.
in her
You just
60s.
heard it.
She was not satisfied with travel bags that she had. She decided to design her own bags, and now her sons help her run her business. That's what it's called, Low and Sons. Best bags in the world, by the way. And that is the new phase of entrepreneurship. I see a lot of women now in entrepreneur. I see a lot of people of color, a lot of just everyone is able to now be an entrepreneur for many different ways. I think that's a wonderful thing to change the image of that in today's society. So
You heard it from one herself who started a business. It's never too late. It's never.
no.
Her mindset was, oh, 19, 20-year-old Zach Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
But no, you could be 60, you could be any age, and you could
yeah.
still start something today. But you have to have that crazy passion,
Mm.
that spark that Mel is talking about. If I
Mhm.
called your best friend and parents, like your small circle, people who know
Uh-huh.
you well, what one word they would describe you as? Not you describe yourself, but that they say, okay, Mel is this word. So they all together and like,
Hmm.
hey, give me one word to describe Mel. What would that word be?
I think they would say I was very energetic.
Very energetic. Okay. All right.
The loud mouth.
Loud mouth. It's okay. It's all right. Everybody's different.
That's who I am. Um, and I kind of I tell it like it is. So I think that's why people trust me, and you know,
What you see, what you get.
kind of, yeah. I mean, there is nothing. Yeah, that's exactly right. We see what you
Okay.
get. Like
Which
you,
is which is make life better because
yeah,
there's no hidden
you.
agenda. So
No, I mean, you may not like what I have to say sometimes, but hey, you asked.
absolutely. I love it. What you see, what you get. There's
Yeah,
no
that's
hidden
pretty
agenda.
much. That's pretty much. Yeah.
What's your hobbies like?
Well, besides coming to Nine Rest.
Okay. Yeah, I train Mel sometimes.
Yeah, but yeah, me and my husband, I'd say he pushes me out of my physical comfort zone. He loves outdoors and things like that. So we've enjoyed a lot of time like skiing, doing a lot of hikes and things like that. When we go out of town, not in Florida, there's no hiking here. So we love doing outdoor stuff. Like we really enjoy that. I do love reading. Last year, I made a goal that I wanted to read a lot of books. I read 23 books last year. Some were small, some were big.
It's okay. 23 books. That's like
But I just
almost 2 books a month.
yeah, but and it was a mixture of like fiction and some self help, a lot of some business books too,
Right.
that I love reading. But I do love reading a good book. I haven't done it in a while this year, which I kind of bummed that I haven't read anything. But
Well, yeah, it's still here and
yeah,
you still got it.
I know,
Starting
yeah,
today.
yeah. And I love just hanging out with my kitties and my husband full time and just hang like a good hang.
Love it.
Yeah, that's it.
We're going to go back to entrepreneurship.
Hmm.
If you had to change the way the world is run and stuff like that in terms of business mindset, any words of advice, any like said, okay, people had this is the structure for the magic, like one
Hmm.
magic idea.
One thing that I think is turning, maybe it's this younger wave, not younger by age, but just newer
Right.
wave of entrepreneurship, I think, which is I think very different from corporate and maybe some of the our notions about companies and competition is this whole notion of community over competition. There is enough for everybody to have a piece. Like there really is enough. So if we are able to lean on each other and help each other grow, I think that is a better formula for business growth than trying to compete with your competitors.
I love that.
Right? Like I'm involved in a mastermind with a couple of entrepreneurs and we share everything, almost like if we were partners because we're trying to help each other. And some of us are in the same industry, some of us are not, but
Right.
if you prioritize community over competition, there's more to be gained than losing sales, honestly.
The apple is big enough for everybody.
I think
The
there's
bite is
I mean,
enough.
there's just billions of people in the world, but I think there's a piece for everyone to have.
So community over.
Competition. Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna use that. Community over competition.
Yep.
The 2 C's.
Hmm.
All right. Any final words? Time we're about to wrap up on time. Any final words for our viewers who want to start a business or a young person in college thinking of opening? Any final words of wisdom or encouragement you want to share?
You know what? Don't give up. Don't give up. It's gonna get hard. This stuff is not easy. It is hard. And vet your idea out. I know like sometimes we live in our own little world and our ideas are really amazing, but let them out. Vet them out.
What
Tell
about
people
writing
about it.
them everywhere?
Writing them. Like put it on a Facebook group and see what people have to say. Just get your idea vetted out and sometimes it's okay not to take no for an answer. Like it's okay to chase after it and not give up. Test everything, like I said, testing mentality, but and learn from every mistake that you make because you will make mistakes. There will be a lot of mistakes made, but don't be gentle on yourself.
No, they gotta be careful for sharing the ideas because somebody might take the idea, run with
Yeah.
it, or
Um. Yes and no,
okay.
but I don't know. I guess you could consult your lawyer about that if it's a really amazing idea like
Right.
that. But I needed to vet it out and see if somebody would do it. But again, you know, you kind of came up with it first, but consult your lawyer
Correct.
on
Yeah.
your IP. But yeah, I honestly think it's there's gonna be a lot of no's, but if you have determination and discipline, like you'll get there.
Love it. There you heard it from Mel, entrepreneurship herself. Thank you for sharing your
Thanks.
wisdom, your words of encouragement, and things to do and not to do when opening and starting a business.
Mhm.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for vibing with Mr.
Oh,
Vamalos.
yes. Thank you for
Appreciate you.
having me. This was awesome.
Viewers, thank you as always. And remember, be marvelous.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
next time.